Look at these questions first. First and second, third, fourth, fifth, sixth, seventh, eighth, and ninth. The expert committee set up by RBI in 2013 to revise and strengthen the monetary policy framework in India. It was chaired by Urjit Patel. उन्होंने कहा था कि आप इन्फ्लेशन टारगेटिंग की तरफ शिफ्ट करें. इट वाज द मेन आइडिया ऑफ द so it should be the primary goal of the monetary policy, that is you have to shift towards the inflation targeting, right? So under flexible inflation targeting framework of monetary policy, which was adopted by RBI in 2016, what is the target range of the inflation? It was, I think, 4 plus minus 2%. So in 2016, it was adopted. That is flexible inflation target rate. So they targeted 4%, right? It targeted inflation to be at 4% with a tolerance band. With a tolerance band of plus minus 2%. So 4 minus 2% भी हो सकता है, 4 plus 2% भी हो सकता है, right? So this is there. Then, so 4 plus minus 2%. In a regression model of a dependent variable on an intercept and k other dependent variable using n observations, what are respectively the numerator and denominator degrees of freedom for the F test, right? So it is k minus 1 degrees of freedom for the numerator and n minus k minus 1 degrees of freedom for the denominator, right? If the estimated slope coefficient in the regression of y on x is beta hat, what will be the estimated slope coefficient in the regression of 5y on 10x? So y equals to alpha plus beta x upon u, right? Beta x plus 5u, right? Now you tell me one thing. If I want to show that this is, okay, can I write this only, just focus on this part. So if I write in place of this, beta upon 2 10x, don't you think it is going to give me the same answer? Ye beta upon 2 10x is nothing but beta 5x only. So the regression of 5y on 10x is going to give you the slope coefficient of beta by 2. Beta hat by 2. This is the answer, right? Suppose India is the home country and US is the foreign country. So Indian interest rate is 6% and the foreign interest rate is 4%. And the difference in interest rates is 2%. Okay. The exchange rate of USD is 80 rupees today, but is expected to rise to 84 rupees later, right? So what is the expected depreciation? New exchange rate upon or minus old exchange rate upon old exchange rate. So this thing comes out to be 5%. Okay. What is the formula for uncovered interest parity? This is on E naught. E naught is your initial exchange rate. It is the exchange rate which you think it is going to be there. So the depreciation in the exchange rate, expected depreciation of INR is 5%. And the interest rate differential is only 2%, right? So you expect currency to depreciate more than the interest rate differential. So what is going to happen? Capital is going to flow out from your country. Please write, since investors expect INR to depreciate, more than the interest rate differential. Right? So interest rate differential क्या है यहाँ पे? मतलब in my country is giving better returns to you. Supposedly you are the US investor, but my country is giving you better returns. But you expect my currency to fall more than this interest rate advantage. तो क्या होगा भाई, तुम्हारे को लगेगा कोई फायदा नहीं होने वाला. Just, I mean, pull the capital out. Capital will flow out. So differential लिखो या यहाँ पे in case interest rate advantage. Capital will flow out, right? So in the model, you have log y is equal to a plus beta x plus u, where log is the natural log. The elasticity of y with respect to x is going to be what? So it's a log linear model, right? It is a log linear model. So it is, so how do we write this? We will write it like this. Elasticity of y with respect to x is dy by dx into x by y. We write it like this. No? So in case of log linear model, how do we write this? So it is 1 upon y dy equals to b dx. No? So it is dy by dx 1 upon y equals to b. So in order to get the elasticity, what do? You have to multiply both the sides with x. So I think it is b into x. I think it should be b into x. Okay. Let's look at the seventh one. In an economy, real GDP has increased from 999 purchasing power parity dollars to 1080 PPP dollars during 2015 to 2020. What is the incremental capital output? The incremental capital output ratio is 2.5. What is the rate of investment? So what is the growth rate of GDP? Growth rate of GDP is 1080 minus 990 upon 990. New GDP minus old GDP upon old GDP into 100. This is going to give you 9.09%. Right. So what does Harrod-Domar model says? So as per Harrod-Domar model, investment is equal to ICOR into growth rate. What is ICOR? 2.5. What is growth rate? 9.09%. So it is 22.73%. 22.73%. So you have whatever is the nearest one is. Which of the following dimensions is included in Home Human Poverty Index 2? I think it was mainly social inclusion factors which were included. So I'll go with this. Right? What is the solow residual? The solow residual is, see, the growth in output can be because of the growth in inputs. It can also be because of the growth in factor productivity, total factor productivity. अब जैसे आप लिखते हो ना, y is equal to a into fkl. A is the technology parameter. F of kl is a production function, which is made up of the inputs. It is the relationship between inputs and outputs. So output growth can happen due to the input growth, and it can also happen due to productivity growth. So solow residual is telling you how much of the output is growing due to the factor productivity growth. So because of the increase in inputs, growth in capital, growth in labor. But how much of the increase in output has grown because of the factor productivity growth, right? So the difference between the growth of output and the growth of inputs. Yeah, right? Okay, I hope this was useful to you. Thank you, beta.